Hi guys, welcome to Chadwm. The thing you're looking at here is pretty much the same as on Ubuntu. So that's a what if I had a few days back. Can I migrate something that I find on the internet that is on an Arch-based system, ArcoLinux, and can I migrate it to something else? And the something else, you need to fill it out. You need to figure it out. For me, it was Ubuntu because one of the users on Discord asked a question. So I had an Ubuntu VirtualBox system and I thought, hey, would that be possible? Would that be feasible? Topic of this video is going to the details of the scripting and typing more comments to it. So it will be a slow thing, it will be a work thing, but you hear me say why and how I got to that particular result and adding some comments. So if you open Brave or Opera or something else, no, Brave, Opera is too much, killing it again, and Brave, yeah, that's not loading up tabs. github.com Eric Dubois. This is the one, you know, ArcoLinux Nemesis, so personal projects go on there. The latest repository I've pushed to the internet is my result of the last days, and it's called Ubuntu Chadwm, and these are actually linked to each other. This is just a present, a placeholder, telling, look, I'm trying to migrate Chadwm, our ArcoLinux Chadwm, not the same thing as the official one. Our code, and our code, as you can see, is inside ArcoLinux Nemesis. So there's a script called .1, install everything, and this video will also go in this playlist here, so all about how it looks and etc. So have a look at the playlist at YouTube, and here are some examples. So basically selling pictures. Will I spend my time in this? You need to be pro tiling window managers, otherwise it doesn't make sense. It's nothing for you then. So inside ArcoLinux Nemesis, there is a folder called Ubuntu Chadwm, and these files, well, I had one file, now I have several files, right? It just grows and grows and grows, and surely it will continue to grow. So, comments, technicality, data, ArcoLinux Nemesis, in personal, my personal folder, there are settings, and there are some things in here might be of interest to you, so have a look. So this is the folder. What I'll do is go to Sublime Text. Let's see what we have. Voila. So this can go, and that can go, and that can go. This is what I'll launch all in one SH. So I do an Ubuntu. This today, when you watch the video, we have 24.04, but doesn't really matter. I should be able to work on everything, so no references, just Ubuntu Chadwm should work on anything in the future. So all-in-one .sh is just saying, well, upgrade everything and afterwards remove everything. That's not needed. And then we're going to, this is the main thing, of course. The main event is get Chadwm. All the rest you can do, you can do as well. That is sudo apt install, and this is sudo snap install. This is specifically for Corsair keyboard, I think 70, K70 I think. This is some design stuff, icons and such more. These are double, this is double, good that we check, right? So this is apps local. So sometimes we build apps locally. You say, let's git clone and then build things. And if we can't find it, in this case, I think we found everything, but it's still there because I did build it, right? And then personal configs, that's very, very personal stuff. And off we go. So this is all the scripts we need to go into. So number one is Chadwm. Let's have a look. Chadwm, this one, and let's add some comments. So this is basically getting dependencies to be able to build Chadwm. Without it, there's no possibility. So build essential, the font awesome. If we don't have the fonts, these things won't work. Imlib, X11, XFT, and Xinerama, all errors that popped up when I tried to build it, and I figured out how it's called in the other system, right? So let's say you're on Solus or something else, you need to figure out the name, the exact name that it requires to build it, and it's always gonna be a tad different, right? It's not ArcoLinux, it is Ubuntu. Saying Ubuntu, I'm also already thinking Linux Mint, right? Next thing, can we install Linux Mint? I don't know, we need to test it out. Anyway, let's focus on Ubuntu now. These are applications to be used in Chadwm. If we don't have, there are two things I like to have: a terminal, a file manager, and how to exit. 3 things. But the how to exit is always a tricky thing. And as long as I have a terminal, I can say p kill Chadwm and we're out. Okay. So basically, a terminal, the transparency. This is when you want to become root and ask for a password. This is when you have super D, so the menu, this thing. Sexy hotkey daemon, so the key bindings. Suckless tools, well, it's a different name. It's basically D menu, right? Next item is D menu. It's called Suckless tools. Tuner is there, Tuner volume, archive, and here we're gonna clone. And this is super important, super interesting for you to know. As an end user, the world is your playground. You can grab things from ArcoLinux, sure, but you can grab things from EndeavourOS, from Garuda, from, I don't know, just name a distro, right? And you find code, you git clone, and to git clone, look it up, it's basically getting the code from an URL. You put it in a temporary file, that's maybe one of the best places. Temp always gets cleaned out. If you reboot, it's always empty again, so the temporary file. And it goes in there, and from there it goes to your system. From there we say copy paste sudo, because we want to go to a user local bin. And I am basically grabbing code from the internet and telling him, find this executable bin binary, right, and put it in user local bin. Find this and put it in the home directory, So the tilt is a home directory. This is my exit strategy. This is Super Shift X. I have a power menu, Super Shift X. This works. Okay. Then we're gonna grab ArcoLinux Chadwm. So anybody who has a GitHub with a certain application, you can clone it, put it in a temporary, copy paste the executable, the user bin, copy paste the desktop session. Remember, if we type xd, these are all installed on my system. There are very specific things. Chadwm you know, Dusk you know, DWM you know. Flex is something I created. It's a DWM split off, or whatever you want to call it, fork, sunset. Also DWM, and of course XFC you know. So this is basically setting up Chadwm. But as you know, Chadwm is an application, you need to build it. So this is just copy pasting certain things, right? Certain things at certain places. Then you still have to build it, but that's later on. Copy run to the scripts. We have a different run. So the official run, and that's the power. You start with something that's from somebody on the internet, but then you overwrite things. You say, no, on my system, I have a run file. I have my own sexy hotkey daemon file. I have my own Thunar right mouse click file. I have what else? An environment file, etc environment, right? There's an empty PNG. We'll come to that later. I can do with 99 kill X, Control Alt backspace, stop, immediately go to, well, I would say SEDM, but in the case of Ubuntu is GDM, and stuff like that. So GTK here and here are my Dotfiles. Just copy paste everything over from Fish and GTK and Quantum and Qt5 and Rofi in my apps list as well. So that's what to open with what, right? Which extension will open with which application. That's that thing. So that's the Dotfiles, the major. Well, this is just the .config and the content of the .config. But this is, where are you? This is not going in the .config. This is going in the root. This is going somewhere else. That's why they're not in here. All right. So yes, we were here. So the run files that I like to be changed, so the official files from Chadwm from ArcoLinux are not good, and I overwrite it with my own files. So something similar can be done on your end, that you say I'm gonna grab this particular file and change it. So then you copy paste it here, this goes there, that goes there. Sexy hotkey daemon goes there because for example, Vivaldi is not called Vivaldi, but Vivaldi.vivaldi-stable. So different names, they won't launch because of, does not exist on Ubuntu. Simple as that. Changed my bar a bit too long, so I just removed updates because updates is related with Pacman. Guess what? There is no Pacman on Ubuntu, so I had to change it anyway, the bar. We're gonna create Thunar folder if it's not present, if the directory, if it's not present, then create it. But in the meantime, I forgot to make some comments. So this is my exit strategy, actually an interesting name. Exit strategy. Basically this is super plus shift plus X. That's how we get out. This is getting the official code from ArcoLinux Chadwm, which goes without saying. And this is actually basically overwriting the official code from ArcoLinux with my own. Okay, so I create my own run sh, my own Python, because there was an issue with it. It was not working, or was an error. I think that was just not working. So there's something interesting to tell you, but memory, right? But there is a Python configuration tool that I've used on Ubuntu that gave me a file, and it's that file that I'm using. So the python.conf, if you have a look, is a really strange file because I've never written it. Only 53 lines, right? And of course this was the main thing, opacity. I wanted to have opacity, and the fade in and all that, I left it all the same. So look on Ubuntu, there is a file to make the configuration with a GUI, and this is the end result. So overwriting official code, okay. Here as well had to change some things. So this is the heart of Chadwm, changing some icons up here, so less icons and different things, different font, because the font that we use in Chadwm on ArcoLinux does not exist. So I had to go to the font awesome, and then I made new icons with the font awesome, right? Simple things, but it all takes so much time. All right, this is all overwriting. And this is interesting. This is of course the build. Chadwm is something you build. Building Chadwm. So before you start building, make sure everything is there. Everything that needs to be changed needs to be there. Most importantly, the one that actually builds it. This is line 86. That's the config from Chadwm. So this one is then built. This is something I've learned. Let's delete these lines. If you don't do that, you get a very slow thing. So removing this package, it slows down terminals and Thuno. It was like 5-10 seconds before it got there. The same issue is on ArcoLinux right? So I guess the same code is there. So that's number one. Install Chadwm. Install Chadwm. It has been commented. Then the applications install. I was of course looking, can I run exactly the same things? And I've learned that there is something called apt file, which can tell me what is the content of a certain file. Like we have in with Pacman, see what is placed in which folder, which files are where, right? Content of the changes on your system. A render, I'm not going to go through the list completely. Bat was a difficult thing, but because they call it batcat, maybe we should write it down. On Ubuntu, the command is batcat. So I had to change a few things there as well. Because of a naming convention, something is already called bat, and I had to go for batcat. And basically, bat is an alternative to cat. So hence batcat. Btop is there, Catfish is here, Chromium is here, curl, Dexter launch, this little thing, right? And you have exactly the same thing on Ubuntu. That's Btop. So it's launched. It's also a nice design. Catfish is here. When Dove is here. Deconf editor, file roller. Lots of things. Anything special? This is interesting. GDM settings. So the display manager can be set. How do you want to show the first screen you get where you have the login and the password? That's that. Some things I've installed GNOME software since I don't know software. Well, that's my conclusion. There are so many software out there that I haven't tested or haven't installed. If you have an overview of what is all free on Linux, this is interesting. Have a look and scroll through it when you don't know what to do, right? Have enough time. Have a look at some software. There's so much out there. Hence, I discovered GNOME Weather, so that's nice. So now I can have a look at weather rather than typing the W2TR, which is what I've been doing lately, Weather Antwerp, right? This is also nice for sure, but the weather app here from GNOME is actually also nice. Hard info, hardware probe is here, so we can do a probe if we want. We lock our system with i3 Log Fancy, nice. Inkscapes and so on. NeoFetch, OBS Studio, no problem. Everything works. Anything that I've used is working on Ubuntu, which is great. Also the look, the style, Quantum, so Super F7 is a color that's dark. I don't want light things, I want dark things. So yes, simple screen recorder, it's all nicely themed. And I can print from there, so cool. Everything works. Bluetooth, music, printer, those are all deal breakers, and it works. So that's all software. This is basically the design. So getting design from ArcoLinux, basically, right? So somebody did something, created something, And ArcoLinux BTOP, again, that's this, right? I like this design, these colors. That's not the default. So yeah, I'm getting my design, right? And this one is ArcoLinux Alacrity. So Alacrity was not transparent. I do want my transparency. So getting getting config for Alacrity. Notably, transparency was not by default, but now it is. Just grab code, copy code. Simple, right? Grab code, copy code. Variety is great, it's super. There's a little icon up here, but it needs scripts. So let's get the scripts. Scripts to change wallpaper on Chadwm. It's all fine in XFC, in Plasma, MLT and all that. That's covered, but the tiling window managers are not. So that's why we have our own scripts. We install Minstick, so the how to burn your an ISO, that little tool. I've git cloned it at some point in time, and it's in save. We put it somewhere else. Good. That's the local build. So this one can go save. Voila. Packages via apt install. So that's the idea. But because we had these packages, BTOP up here, we need a config for BTOP. We need a config for variety, and we need a config for Alacrity, right? So it's great, the default, but not so great. So we overwrite the defaults here. And maybe then the local, just quick check. So I've built it and they're in the packages. So we can always go to the packages. There are two things in there, bat and minstick. I don't know if I'm gonna keep them, doesn't matter, because we can install it at this point in time with apt install minstick and apt install ybat. But as an experiment, I git cloned everything and I started building it from scratch. That's also an interesting thing. It's not included here. So let's follow this thing. Apps install is something we did. Check. App snap. So when I did not find it with sudo apt install, we went for snap software. So snap install Brave, Colorwall, Code, Discord, Gitkraken, Opera, Spotify, Sublime Text, Telegram Text, Vivaldi. It's all done. It's all installed. Does not need an explanation, I think. We need something else. We can't do it with sudo apt install. We need to install it with snap. That's the main thing. So that's this, apt install, apt snap. This is certainly something very specific for me. First of all, I'm gonna check, is HW info there? So if it does not exist, if it's not there, that file, then install it without asking me to install it. Yes, install it. And if that's then done, right, then I can go for this. If hardware info, we're gonna look for a certain name, which is a keyboard that is to my left here, all kinds of coloring and rainbows and all that. If that's there, then okay, you're gonna install this thing. So this can all go, as I know it works. Save. Okay, quick look again. Well, configuration, yeah, not needed for me. So that's the keyboard for Corsair. Design, installing icons, installing packages. Let's call it design. Design, installing packages. This is a check. So creation of folders. If it does not exist, if the directory in home, and home, the variable $home is for me /home/Eric. And then an extra slash .bin. If it does not exist, create it. If it does not exist, create it. If it doesn't exist, create it. If it doesn't exist, create it. So that's cool. Don't have to do anything manual. Then I'm gonna grab my own icons, right? So git clone, surfen, and put it in there. And then you have to go and navigate. What's the path? Where are my icons? That's the path. Get everything and put it in the folder that we've just made. Same thing here, a Candy Beauty icon theme. What do we have now? This is a Candy Beauty icon theme. Go grab it, put it there, and go put it in the .icons. Arc theme is there as well, so I love the Arc theme and I love Pipata cursor theme. So these two guys come in here as well. Wallpapers on, that's not necessary, I have variety. Okay, we could move variety to here. Yeah, that's something we could do. That's also design. Okay, save to be sure. Apps local. Apps local, that means that's the thing we've just checked, right? I could do this, sudo apt install a folder packages and install something you find somewhere. So there are lots of servers around, and then you can say, let's get a dep, that's the extension, and then you can say locally get me, I will install this thing. I see an error, right? This, I think. All right. Locally, find me folder packages and find me the file, etc. That's better. And then personal configs. That's the fun stuff. Well, the fun stuff. So personal choices. I install fish. I change the environment. So the file environment on Ubuntu, I want to change it. So the file environment tells us I want to have Qt5CT, that's for VirtualBox and Simple Screen Recorder and all that, that it's all gonna be Arc theme and dark. I don't want something bright suddenly popping up like VirtualBox being white, hurts my eyes. So I gonna change system white, etc environment. And plop, 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 where were we? Let's kill some things. This needs to go, that needs to go. So we're in the personal configs. That's that. At some point in time, I was playing with the idea when Ubuntu pops up, you have the logo in the orange logo, the circle with 3 bullets, right? And then beneath there was a Ubuntu text at the bottom. And I thought by myself, let's change that, right? I was making things in Inkscape and in GIMP and changed the file, and I didn't like it. I said, nah. And then suddenly I've been asking ChatGPT, created something, and yeah, there were nice results, but the end result was not nice. The greeting screen, didn't like it. I don't know now how to do it, but these are the 4 files you need to change. User, Pix Maps, and Plymouth and Plymouth. Instead of that, I've made a transparent PNG, so it just looks through it. On the login on the GDM, it's just not there. It's there, but it's not there. It's an empty pixel, just 1 pixel with transparency. So basically now I have just the logo and login, and when I log it, it's just the logo, no bottom image, and that's how I like it. So keep it simple and stupid is an idea, right? Installing extra shell, basically. Changing, making sure Simple Screen Recorder, VirtualBox, and other apps are dark. that's the idea. The dot files, yeah, that is a lot of things. Basically, the dot config I would like to have. So you start by changing things, and then you say, okay, let's look at my .config. What do I want to overwrite? So you say, I want this setting for fast fetch, and I want this setting for GTK, and I want this setting for Thunar, and so on. And I copy pasted everything to a folder. Simple as that. I copy pasted everything to .files, fish, GTK3, quantum, Qtfile. The things that matter, put it in there, and all you need to do is copy paste them. So config I would like to have. So fine, and it goes without saying. And here as well, this is design. This is theming. Theme, cursor, I think icons as well, and maybe another stuff, right? That's all in GTK3 RC-2.0. Voila. Changing the appearance of GDM. So we have SDDM on ArcoLinux, we have GDM on Ubuntu, and there is GDM settings as an app to change it, but this is overwriting stuff. So if you do this, well, it's gone, right? There's no backups, it just goes over. Do a clean install and you have it back, but mind, well, my choice here. Changing the appearance of the item, no bottom logo. That is Ubuntu text. All right, and default had some issue. Well, I want the cursor, setting the cursor to be bata everywhere. That's basically what I'm doing here. I have a file default. Where are you? Here. I have a folder default, which has a file index theme that says go set bibata as my cursor. So this little thing up here that you now see is bibata modern eyes. I want the exact same thing from ArcoLinux on Ubuntu, so that if I switch computers, I say, which am I actually, right? Because it looks exactly the same. So this is setting the cursor to bibata everywhere. This is in the .icons that we put a folder. We are removing the one in user share icons default and putting ours there again. So that's that. These are personal folders I like to have. Personal workflow thing, personal folders I like to have. Okay, so InSync is an application. It syncs my stuff from Google Drive, and that's where I want it to be, so I can find it always. And here's projects and data. And then variety. I have my own proper variety settings. So why every single time setting these things every single time? So I want Wallhaven, abstract, minimal, space, sci-fi, simple. Otherwise, in every clean install, I need to do it again and again. I don't like things doing again and again. So it goes into a script. Setting my personal configuration for variety. That's basically go grab, wget, grab, download that particular file, and the output, put it in that particular place with that name. Voila. I'd like to kill systems, kill my system, and go to GDM in this case, and it's done with Control Alt backspace. Let's shout. So a file, it's not that hard. Many systems have that. a file that says server flags don't set false keyboard, and that's the thing, right? Terminate, Ctrl backspace. So that file goes into this folder, and suddenly everything works again. Of course, reboot. And then minimal setup for bash RC. I'd like to have something extra, and I add it. I'm not going to override bash RC. I'm gonna add at the end t add editor nano, visual nano, etc. Update is sudo apt upgrade, and probe is sudo r, and environment is sudo editor. The editor is nano, etc environment, and reboot sr. Those are things I always type. But I'm not going to go on bash. I'm going to go to fish. So I tell him find bash and replace with fish where in etc password. So replace inline, find me this, replace with that in that file. Okay, let's do some comments again. Minimal setup. We are going for fish as the default shell. Save. And here we have messages I don't like to see, but it's a little bit too much maybe. As blah blah here. Copy paste what I have from somewhere else. Huh? Removing all messages. What I do is actually always leave some space so it stands out. Voila. So this is basically saying forget about these stupid messages VirtualBox sends us, because at this point in time VirtualBox is already installed. So follow the order. VirtualBox is installed prior. So personal configs, VirtualBox is installed. I tell him not to show me messages, and I also make a template in advance, so I don't need to make every single time another template again and again and again after every clean installation. This actually exists as well on Ubuntu. So the result, if you type this, it's none or Oracle or something else. And if it's none, then basically we're not on VirtualBox, so that's cool. We're not going to install VirtualBox on VirtualBox. Well, yeah, we kind of are at this point in time, but not this template, right? We don't want this template. Create this folder if it does not exist. So let's do this. When on real metal, install a template. That's it for VirtualBox. So I don't need to do it again. And here is the VirtualBox template, which I will extract, and then I will remove the compressed file. And if it's not none, then meaning we're not on real metal, then we say you're on a virtual machine, skipping VirtualBox template, not copied to voila. But if you're on VirtualBox, we set your setting. So maybe this is not a good thing for you. That's my screen, but it works for me, of course. You need to change code. Read code, change code. At some point in time, he did not know where it was again, so I said, hey, go back to the installed directory, and the installed directory is something I have always on every script. Is going to figure out where am I, where is this script coming from. So okay, the folder. So go back to that particular folder, and what are we going to do here? Log out. ArcoLinux layout is this, right? This is ArcoLinux layout, and it works on Ubuntu. We just didn't build it. We used the code to copy paste everywhere. So getting ArcoLinux logout. It works. We're gonna git clone it, and everything that's in etc we'll put it in etc, and everything that's in user we'll put it in user. So removal is out of the question. As you can see, there's no removal here. So yep, it just gets copy paste over, and sudo apt thing, the apt thing that doesn't have a clue that it's there. So it's not really a package, it's just file, file, folder, folder, file. And it works super X. Then I did not like suspend and hibernate, and then finally made a new lock mechanism. So i3 lock fancy is interesting. So I don't want that. So personalization, basically personalization of ArcoLinux logout. I have my own file, and that's called this. I want opacity 80, I want the icon size a little bigger, font size a little bit bigger. I don't want suspend and hibernate, so they're out. I keep lock, and lock is changed. Not better lock screen, does not exist. i3 lock fancy is a nice replacement, and theme is handy. So personal choices. HBlock was fun to see, and it works, right? So yeah, HBlock, prevention, spam, and all rubbish websites, HBlock, right? Well, spam, spyware, spam, spyware, lots of things, right? It protects you on the internet. Okay, have a look. Ooh. Now maybe I can put the URL. Where is a browser? HBlock from Hector. Improve your security and privacy by blocking ads. That's it. Ads and tracking. That's basically it. I was looking. What was it again? So, simple as that. It's crazy, right? 4 lines, and I've got, I'm safe. And then the personal choices are done. Save. I think we're almost there. And then we're going to auto remove things. Fine. What things did we miss? The right mouse click in Thunar opens the terminal here. It has to be Alacrity. Melt is there. Git Kraken, git ahead does not exist, git find does not exist. I went to git Kraken, so that's now opening my GitHubs. Thunar, open it up as root, nothing changed here. Checksums, didn't test it, just the same thing. Catfish is working, extract here is working. Convert PNG to GPG words, WebP to GPG works. WebP is coming from Chadwm, Chat GPT. And yeah, that works. Executing as root. What did I do more? Wallpapers, setting wallpapers works. Yeah. So this is the right mouse click for custom configuration. This is my my VirtualBox setup. This is a C hotkey daemon. So Vivaldi does not exist. Vivaldi stable does not exist. It's Vivaldi.Vivaldi stable. So things like that had to change, and there was another one I had to change. So if you're doing similar project on something else, you have to look how is it launched? What's the exact name I need to have? And yes, by Mac Manager will not work, but it will not hurt either, right? It will just do nothing if you press those buttons. If it does not exist, you can't launch it. ST is not installed, so you can't launch it. So that's all cool. It's just a what if for me, right? So run at .sh has changed. I put this guy at the top, had to figure out how to become root. So this line, the PyChem went totally wrong at some point in time. I had this application and I created my own PyChem on Ubuntu using that one. This is all new. We removed the run. If you remember, if you look at Chadwm ArcoLinux, there was something about the run. It's gone. We have our own bar sh here. We had to put this in front of it, and then we launch Chadwm. This is discussed. I will not run this automatically, but it's there. If I want to have QEMU system, I'll install it. Right, QEMU system together with Virtual Manager. See, this one is the GUI for this one. Fisher tight is a way to get these lines. This line does not work, I think, but if you copy paste this, Control C, Control T in a terminal, it's gonna work. I'll figure it out later. I don't think we need it because we just copy paste the .config completely over. The fish folder is in there. Do we have the Fisher tight here. This is the function. This is what we need to have and Fisher and tight, two plugins, but two plugins. I don't think we have a command to say go for Fisher tight. Let's look for the personal configuration here. I did this manually, I think, and that works. So it's a manual thing from now. Still a manual thing. Basically, it's just copy pasting this content into fish folder .config fish. Okay. We'll decide later if I want to keep the design. It's a little bit of design, and that's all it is. Well, not all, but it's yeah, it's nice if you like it, and it's awful if you don't like it. All done. Why did we forget some things here? Getting certain icons. Getting Candy Beauty icons. Theme and cursor. Voila. Better, eh? Let's be a little bit more critical. Yeah, I can't say a lot of things in here. It's just launching things. Personal config. So we've done comments here. This is just installing packages. Nothing more to be said. Copy paste line 42 in a terminal for now. Not sure why it's bugging. Design, that's that. CKB next. So making sure if it exists in the system. If it's installed, if it's not installed, install it, otherwise we can't check it out. Do we have a, and then it's called Corsair K70. It's a name. If it's in there, then I have it, then I install the software. Voila, Chadwm. Nice. App Snap. Show installing software. What can we say about this? And then apps local. Apps install. environment is our choices. Empty PNG is that 1 pixel. That's transparent. This is the config dev-h, on which we have changed the icons. Discord, Firefox, Minstick. Nice icon. Nice icon. This is an icon. Music icon. Note. Anything else? We get pretty much the same thing. And font awesome, of course. We have one example, building some stuff from source. So getting dependencies. Nothing was written on the website of Linux Mint. Dependencies. Wow, Right. And then we're gonna get the code, of course. Whoa, space. Yeah. Building from source. So get it, put it somewhere, go to there, build it, install it. And there's a reference number. So since I don't know in a few years time what the reference number will be, I just use how's it called again? Anything, right? Asterisk is just about anything. Save. Bar, we've changed the bar. Some icons that are gone, and more simplicity. Keep it simple and stupid. This is gone. All the icons are gone. Enfin, choices. ArcoLinux logout, you've seen that. Kill, you've seen that. All in one. That's where we start. GTK is design. I want Candy Beauty icon. I want Bibati Modern Eyes. And packages are 2 tab files. Fisher Tide is the code that I'm looking at. And do I want these tide fish? Maybe we can include that. Why not? So GitHub tide tide fish. Well, that's it. So it's something like this. You can configure it and it becomes, well, you had these design things at the end and the beginning. You can choose all kinds of things. I've made my choice. It's in the folder fish. And voila. So evaluating if this is gonna be my default or not. That's this Fisher Tide. Dotfiles is everything I want to keep. So fish only contains the config fish. Not everything has been tested, but there are no errors, let's say that. But it's basically ArcoLinux fish, and then say, okay, Pacman out, all the things that are not interesting here are out. But there are also interesting things like Ensamba and hosts. Okay, so things like that. Everything is the same. Your fetch configuration alacrity. Yeah, that's all okay. So things I'd like to have and keep are in here. GTK3 choices, bookmarks. I want my bookmarks to be there all the time. I want my settings, ini, Arc Dark, Candy Beauty, Bibata Modern Eyes, Quantum. I want Arc Dark to be there. Qt5CT, the same. Quantum Dark as choice. And then my Rofi first. Rofi also design Arc Dark. And my apps list is actually not that much, but just keep working and copy paste the MIME apps list to this thing, and you don't have to do these again, right? So anything with a text will open with Sublime Text. Anything with this will be open with that. And you see it's a bit strange. For us it's strange. What underscore subl, right? Fine, that's the name. And anything else won't work. And that's the, again, the default icon theme. Then we went through everything. And I guess the next thing would be, well, to push everything to the internet. And then we could try it in a virtual machine and show you what the end result might be if you want to follow the idea. Can I migrate something from there? So let's say 80% is coming from ArcoLinux, and then the rest you have to define. And not only ArcoLinux, but also ArcoLinux and Variety and Alacrity and BTOP and all kinds of settings you can find everywhere, wherever you find it, right? Just incorporate it into your operating system, run it, done. It's your thing. Nobody else has the same thing. It's your configuration, right? Have fun.